FlossTube, welcome to my stitchy home. Today's date is Monday, May 4th, 2020. My name is Becca, and this is my 1-year FlossTube anniversary. Yay! So today and over the next few days, I'm going to do a WIP parade and a future project kit parade and a stash pattern etc. parade. I mean, I won't go down into like exactly what threads I have or anything like that, but certainly the kits and some of the patterns that I have that I'm most excited about do see myself stitching. I'm going to do a parade of those, and there'll be a couple of giveaways along the way. Might do something a little more substantial towards the end of the week, but mostly I'm just having fun and hoping that you have fun with me as I delve into what's in my bag. And the bag today looks like this. I made this bag from a simplicity pattern at a I don't know if it wasn't an introduction to sewing. It was maybe an introduction to bag making at Joann's. If this is the first time you've caught my stitchy home, welcome. I do have a playlist that I'll link down below for all of these floss tubes that are related to my 1-year anniversary with FlossTube. I also have a playlist down below that is all my 2020 floss tubes and another playlist that's all of my 2019 floss tubes. So if you're looking for something to keep you company as you stitch or sew or knit or crochet or whatever you're doing, you can click on the 2019 FlossTube link, and it'll start with FlossTube number 1 and go to the end of the year, and then you can click on 2020 and it'll bring you up to whatever, at the time you watch, whatever videos I've had in 2020. If you just want to watch the floss tubes that are coming out the week of May 4th, 2020, like if it's a couple weeks from now and you want to go back and watch them, there'll be a specific playlist just for this week of videos. And as I said, it'll be, you know, the whole WIP parade, stash parade, kit parade, all that. So I could see somebody just wanting to see that to maybe get inspired or enabled or whatever. So anyway, and if you are a subscriber and you're coming back to watch again, thank you so much. I so enjoy seeing the comments and just feeling like I have friends out there is amazing. I mean, I appreciate the friends I have here, but I also appreciate the friends that I've made through FlossTube and through various cross-stitch retreats and things like that. It's really exciting to think that we can develop relationships and be supportive of one another, even though we aren't necessarily living in the same town. So, all right. I want to show you, like I said, these are projects I've worked on. I believe all of them are ones I've worked on in the past year. And there's no particular order on these, but I do consider these to be WIPs or works in progress. So you're going to hear some zipping and unzipping and rustling of papers and plastic, and that's just the way it has to be. So the first one, as I said, no particular order, is Quaker Village from Rosewood Manor. And you can see the little houses or buildings that are around the center courtyard, and then the Quaker motifs more to the outside. There's a few in the center. And let's see the stitch count on this. It's pretty big. I mean, it's not huge. It's 220 by 220, and I am stitching it on Aida. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Here's mine. Now, the center part is as charted, the very center motif. And Rosewood Manor is known for, you know, frequent floss color changes to give you that very vibrant, dynamic look. I got so tired of all the floss changes. I guess I didn't feel like I could carry my threads big distances. And I really think I can now. Now that I've, you know, looked at it, I think I could. But what I did is I pulled out some DMC variegated floss and started stitching these designs out here. And they're not as, I don't know. There's not as much depth to them as the center motif. So I feel like now I could go back and stitch it as Karen intended. So I may tear those designs out, or I may just start stitching around them. And then if I feel like I need to go back and frog some of it out, I will. But this is 18 count Aida, and then the floss is DMC. And it's a lot of floss. Like, so very pretty. Okay, put that away. And I've spent the last few days going through. Sorry, it's not wanting to go in the way it came out. Anyway, going through my stash and kind of prioritizing the things that I want to work on. That has been, I'm super excited. I don't know what it's been. It's just been very eye-opening, I guess, to see everything and realize that I have some things close to a finish, and then I have other things that are further away, but yet maybe I'm super excited about them. All right, number 2 is the Field of Berries sampler. And I took 2 flosses from this project to put on the I went to church on Sunday project that Stacy the 911 stitcher and I are going to start a SAL on May 17th. But I didn't have all the DMC and I wanted to get it kitted, so I did. I just borrowed floss from other projects. All right, this is the Field of Berry sampler by Eileen Bennett. And I'm stitching mine on 32 count Heroic by Picture This Plus. I love this fabric. It's just really interesting to see. It's got little, you know, some aqua and pink. I guess it's blue and red, but it kind of comes out as aqua or turquoise and pink. And there's my progress so far. Using DMC flosses. I struggled at the time I did it, which it's, like I said, it's been maybe 2019. I struggled, I think, because I didn't have the right kind of eyeglass readers to magnify the stitches, and because I think because this is Picture This Plus, it seemed really tight. So here's my flosses for that. It's got a pearl cotton. Alright. And next up is the stitching and quilting party. Oh man, I love this. I need to get back to all these. I'm sure you hear that from everybody when they do a WIP parade. The Stitching and Quilting Party by Sarah. There's a button, let's see, right there. And let's see, what's the stitch count on this? 278 by 265. I am stitching it on 32 count Dryad, Dryad, by Under the Sea Fabrics. So I'll give you a big picture. It's mostly green, but it has a little bit of this kind of a peachy ecru color. And I started right above the center. I remember the last thing I was working on was this fence, I think. And this is the project that I have a Bags Plus flip, maybe? I can't remember now. I'm sure you're yelling at me what this is, but it's from Bags Plus anyway, and then it's got the scissors on the back side. And that just has like maybe a couple of yards of floss on each bobbin, and then the remaining thread I have you know, on thread cards. And it's a lot of floss. And I borrowed 4 flosses from this project for my I went to church on Sunday project. Oh, forgot to put my pattern, strawberry berry sampler pattern away. So let me look and see what the stitch count is on this. 94 stitches wide by 297 stitches high. So on 32 count over 2, it'll be just under 6 inches wide by 18.5 inches high. All right. Sorry about that. Like I said, I know I'm going to be making some noise here. Next one is Bloomers from Ink Circles. And I decided to use a 30 count Murano in Cadet Blue for mine. So you can see I'm working on like these corners. The two bottom or top or whatever it is corners, they're all the same. And then I'll still have the outside edge that goes all the way around. Now I didn't use the called for. I just pulled various peaches and oranges, and even pulled a couple of mandarin flosses, which are from Rainbow Gallery. It is 100% bamboo. And then I've got some silks and DMC and whatever I thought would show up and contrast nicely with the blue. Oh, showing you my back. So I recommend this pattern. It's very easy to follow. On 30 count, it's easy to stitch, although I think it calls for stitching it on 40 count Lakeside linen, and the stitch count is 143 by 143. That's, you know, that's a safe one to pull out when you're just sort of, if you're tired of struggling with something, then you go to that one and you're like, oh, this is fun. I don't know why, it just is. Okay, next up is from Silk Reflections, Reflex de Soie, and I can't pronounce the name of the chart, but I will show you the name. Stitching on 28 count fog. The full chart would look like that, but I am just stitching this, which is a freebie, on the website, and there'll be a list of all these projects down below, so you can go check it out. Here's a picture. Does any good of the full little pastoral scene. There's a guy here with a bird, a snake. There's a guy here fishing in a little pond. It's different. I didn't have all the DMC called for, so I just used what I had that was similar. You know, bright pinks and orange and greens and blues. It's a fun piece, and it's very enjoyable as well as you are creating all these little scenes or parts of the scene. Okay, I haven't worked on that in a few months. I need to figure out a way to, like, you know, a lot of these just do a thread, put a length of floss in it, and put it away. All right, this was initially going to be one of my year-long 2020 projects. It's from By the Bay Needleart, and it's Nantucket Village. which is a 5-part series. This is series 3 out of 5. And it will look, when it's all 5 sections, it'll look like that. And here's a vine. So I need to put the yellow in the lighthouse and finish off the fencing. Mine is stitched on 28 count Summer Sky Jobelan 1/1 with DMC flosses. I also have a week's dye work moss and Loden. And there's my pretty flosses. And I have all 5 patterns. But the 1/1 at the time, it was a bit challenging. It was enjoyable, and yet like my eyes would get tired, I guess, is all I can think of. All right. Next up is Jane Marshall, 1857. This was a chart from Hands Across the Sea to raise money for the 2 brigades of the New South Wales Rural Fire Service in Australia. And they were battling the fires in Australia. And like Jan Hicks started at the bottom, and I saw a couple other people do that as well, and I thought that was really smart. That is not what I did. I started at the top. And it's not that I would say alphabets just aren't my thing. I think I like shapes, and this was just, you know, straight lines and letters. So I'm stitching mine on, oh, it says 32 count Wren. Picture this plus. And I won't need all of this. And I pulled together mostly silks with some cottons from my stash. Just things that I thought looked like the colors. Like there's some blues in here, you know, and greens. So I've got to keep going from the top down. I can't just jump to the bottom as much as I wish I could. I don't trust my ability to count that far. Oh, I was gonna 94 wide by 144 high. So on 32 count, it'll be just under 6 inches by 9 inches. All right, next. So then there's 4 more after this. Is Hands on Design Under a Quilt. I think I got this at Keepsakes in Sharonville, Ohio. And they had a piece of yellow linen. Perhaps in their like cast off area. I forget what was, I don't know. It was like folded up or whatever. And I said, is this really for sale? It's a basket of little, you know, remnants and stuff. And I mean, it's yellow. I like a dusty mustardy yellow. I don't know the color name. So I went with a little more muted color scheme. I didn't use the called for bright red and the red and green and purple at the bottom. I wanted to do blue and green at the bottom. And then I ran out of crescent color black coffee. So I did the first stitch of my X's from here down. And I've since acquired a new black coffee color, but it is gray. I mean, it's really gray looking, and compared to, say, this is Needleart Black Licorice. So if you compare them to one another, I don't know if my light is good enough to see. One looks gray and the other one looks black. So I may have to, instead of using black coffee, I may have to finish it with a different black, or even 310 is a pretty good match to what I have. But I need to come down and do the legs on each side and finish out the quilt at the bottom and the little hearts and the pillows, and then I'll be done. It's very close to being finished. It's simply because I ran out of the black coffee thread that I stopped working on it. And that one has a stitch count of 96 by 136. And it's called for to be stitched on 30 count Cocoa Weeks Dye Works. This may be Weeks Dye Works, but it's not Cocoa. I'm not sure what it is. But that's super close to a finish. So if I want to finish, I should grab that one. All right. Oh, the next one is a Jeanette Douglas Patriotic Sampler. I know this was a stitch along a year or two ago for several people, and would help if I turned it right side up. What does it say? It says Star Spangled Happiness in Banner Waves of Pride. And I think it is, the called for is silks, like needlepoint silk. I did use some silks. Gloriana, I think, was a little less expensive, and I've got a Weeks Dye Works, and I've got a DMC. So, and I'm, instead of stitching it on that light creamy color, I am stitching mine on Picture This Plus 36 count feldspar. And I felt like I stitched and stitched and stitched and stitched. And that's what I got done. I did. I felt like I was, I think because it's 36 count, it's just, you know, those little stitches. Again, I didn't have the glasses I have now. So I think if I went back to it, I would stitch much faster and make some progress. I think I'm going to work on that for the month of July. That's my plan there. All right. I got one more after this one. This bag has two projects in it, though. It has my Lady's Needle Summer's Bounty purse. I did have the black version of this purse, but I think I donated it at a stash sale. I don't think I have it, but I'm gonna look some more, and you can see And it's supposed to be stitched on Country French Latte, which is a linen. Stitch count's 91 wide by 77 high. I decided to stitch mine on mono canvas. Tell you what the stitch count was, and to pull like yarn, like the watercolors and pearl cottons, they're a little thicker than DMC floss. Oops, sorry. I think I have everything stitched in the design except for the background. If I'm gonna put it on this purse as shown, or more likely I'm gonna put it on the front of a project bag, I think I want the background tint stitched. So I have it's kind of a beigey sand color, soft color, and I'll just do, you know, tint stitches on the mono canvas to fill in and make that a solid design. So that's cool, because that would be super easy to just sit and do when you're, you know, watching a floss tube or whatever. Okay, and the other little project I have in here, it was a kit from Cherished Stitches called Berry Basket. And so it's got this black kind of lattice looking basket, wicker looking basket, and then strawberries. It's kind of hard to see, but, and then flowers around the outside. And it came with 4 flosses, dark pink, light pink, black, and green. It came with backing fabric for the pillow. It came with black floss and a pale pink ribbon that you use to make the cording on the outside. And it came with the linen. Have a thread hanging there. So I'm really close to finish on this one. I've got to finish the pink flowers around this side, of course. I've got to do the greenery and then fill in with the flowers and across the top with the flowers and right there. And then I have to decide what, if I want to put 20/20, or if this is going to be a smalls exchange, maybe for StitchCon 2021, I might want to put, you know, StitchCon, and then maybe have a little either Stitch 2021 or have a little 2021 charm that I could put there. So I haven't worked on that in a while. I guess I got distracted with some things, I guess. So I purchased this at a Katrina Boyd retreat in Orange Beach, Alabama in February 2019. She had like a, you know, miscellaneous bucket of things. Oh, I misspoke. I have 2 project bags here, not just one. This one, though, is a small. This was a kit. And I don't have a lot stitched on it. But it is the Pale Pumpkins Pincushion Stand and Scissor Fob Shakespeare Peddler. It was offered at the Midwest Cross Stitch Retreat in October 2018. I was not there, but someone had it for sale, the kit for sale on Stash Unload, and I bought it. So you make the pin cushion, which Teresa had you mounted on a pillar, and you can paint or distress or stain or whatever the pillar, and then you make a little scissor fob, and it has wool on the back. So besides the linen for the stitching, you're given a piece of I guess backing fabric. Anyway, fabric for finishing. And you've got your flosses and your wool and cording. So everything you need to finish those two things. And I just you know, stitched one of the pumpkins and a little bit of the vine on the pumpkin, and that's as far as I got the day that I worked on that. All right, last project I have in this bag of WIPs is Christmas Land, also by Teresa Vanette, with Raise the Roof Designs. And I bought this off of her website as a fundraiser for her cash for stash for cats and dogs, or stash for cash for cats and dogs, for $10. Her pattern PDF was $10. And Classic Colorworks was the called for. I am stitching mine on 32 count, picture this, plus crystal helix. So it's kind of a pale blue, maybe ever so slightly has some gray in it, white, and of course the sparkle. You can see the sparkle. So I'm not very far on that. I got the flosses, the Classic Colorworks flosses from Jen of Jen Stitching Niche. And I went on line and ordered buttons. I couldn't find the specific Christmas Land button pack. I think it's available now. So I had to order individual, like a cardinal and some greenery and a cat and a heart and a couple of snowflakes and some packages too. Where's the packages? Oh, there. Some packages so that I can, you know, put the buttons on when I'm done with the stitching. And the stitch count on that is 270 wide by 72 high. So there you go. That's pretty much my WIP parade. I have a ton of counted canvas work and some cross stitch upstairs in my craft closet. I haven't even pulled those down off the shelf to catalog and for a parade of WIPs for those, but I will be doing that. So this FlossTube Special, sorry about that, is going up Monday, May 4th. And then I've already got one filmed for the 5th and the 6th, and I've got the 7th prepared to film. I don't think I'll get it done tonight. It'll probably be tomorrow. But yeah, this is going to be several days. It's a several day process to go through my WIPs in my stash, and just have some fun with that. So thank you all for stopping by my stitchy home and celebrating my 1-year FlossTube anniversary with me. It's been a challenge to do all the prep work and all that, but totally worth it to motivate me to continue to work on the things that I love, and to be encouraged by all of you to keep working on them. So thanks, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow on another FlossTube extravaganza. Have a good night. Bye.